Hello all and welcome to this DPHX Unpack and Load tutorial. We're going to cover first what is a DPHX file or a DPHX package. It is very similar to a zip file actually that contains a flight plan file, you know, the .pln files for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which contains the soaring task, the flight plan. It will contain also a weather profile file, the .wpr files, that is the weather inside Flight Simulator for that task. Those two tasks are like required. It's the minimum that you need to have. It will usually contain also a map, an image of the task, and it will contain other files, other images. They are optional. And of course, it's going to contain also all of the task information about the task you are going to perform. And if included, this is optional. If the task is part of a group flight, an event, then it will also contain all of the information for that event. Why DPHX? Well, it comes from Discord Post Helper. This is another tool that has been created to help post a full soaring task on Discord, and it creates a DPHX file also to use. Okay, so that's where it comes from. Where can you find DPHX file? Well, on Discord. It's a Discord post helper thing, so it helps task designer to post flights on Discord. So usually you find that on GutGravel, for example, on GutGravel Soaring Plans channel, or on the Sim Soaring Club on their tasks channel. You'll find very similar posts that have been created with the Discord Post Helper tool. And you'll notice that there's no file in here. You have to go inside the thread that is created under each task. So each task gets a subthread here, and when you go into that thread, there's a post that will be called files, and under the files you'll find the DPHX file. Okay, that's where you find DPHX files. You have a notice on that post here that says if you use the DPHX Unpack and Load tool, you only need to download this file. You don't need to download any of the other files. If you don't use the tool, then yeah, you have to handle manually all of these files. But if you use the DPHX file, the DPHX Unpack and Load, you only need this file. Okay, you click to download, you save it anywhere on your PC, and you double click to open. I'll show you how to associate a program to the DPHX file, but basically you double click to open the DPHX file and it will bring you to the tool. But you also need to install the tool first. You need to get the tool. Where do you get that? Again, on Discord. If you are watching this video, you probably found that tutorial on my Discord. The Discord is MSFS Soaring Task Tools. And you have a section for the Unpack and Load. There's a welcome there, and the first message on that channel contains the instruction to install. If you click on the README here, it's gonna bring you to the GitHub page. On the GitHub page, README, that's where it brings you. You get all of the information you need for installation. This program is a .NET framework program, Microsoft .NET, so it requires version 4.8 or later of that framework. Please note that most version of Windows since Windows 7, I think, include version 4.8 or 4.8 of the .NET framework. So it shouldn't be a problem, but if you don't have it, you install the program, you try to run it, it will tell you that it needs the .NET framework. So you come back, you click on that link, and you install the .NET framework, and then it is going to work. And then to download the latest release of the tool, you click that link here. It's going to bring you here to well, this is the current version. Of course, if you click that down the road, it's going to be a newer version, so you're going to have a different number here. But basically, you just download the zip file here. You click to download the zip file, you save it again anywhere on your PC, and then you can extract all the files from the zip file to your favorite application folder, okay, where you keep your programs. You can extract, you can create a folder there and extract all the files. These are all the files that are contained in the zip. You need to unzip everything that's there, and then once it's extracted somewhere on your computer, you can create a shortcut to the main application, which is the executable here, DPHX Unpack and Load. So you have a shortcut. Are we done with all the installations? Let's see. If we go back to the README, it says that it tells you how to install it, and then the application supports auto updates. So when it runs, it checks for an update, so it shouldn't be a problem anymore. It's gonna auto update itself. But if the auto update doesn't work, then you just come back and click again on the latest release. You download the zip file again. You just overwrite the files. Okay. Now, I told you about double-clicking the DPHX file, and that would open automatically the program, the tool. You need to associate the DPHX file to this application. These are the instructions, but basically what it says, it says that if you already have a DPHX file on your computer, you can double-click it, or you can right-click on it, and then you get a context menu. You select Open With, and you're gonna get a list of programs. You go down that list and you can choose an app on your PC, because the DPHX Unpack will not be in the list. So you choose an app on your PC. You're gonna select where you extracted the files. You're gonna select your executable file here, and make sure to click always on the window, so that it now associates DPHX file with the program always. And then you double click it and it's going to open the tool. But first time you run the tool, you actually have to set a few things. So the first time it will open automatically the settings for this application. So let's go over the settings a bit. First, we get to set some of the folders to work correctly. The tool needs to know where your files are stored. Okay, any of the paths here, the 5 folders, you can do with the mouse. If you left click on any of these boxes, it will simply open the folder selection, where you can select the folder where you want the files to be. Or you can right click also to open the folder itself. When it's set, you right click, so it opens the folder. You can kind of double check if it's the right folder. You can also use the paste button here to paste any path you might have on your clipboard. For example, we're gonna do it for the DPHX package folder. Let's say that you have a File Explorer open to where you store DPHX file. All right, you've set a folder especially for that. When you click on the address bar here, when you click on this, it transforms it. You have the full path. And when you right click, you can copy this path, and then you click on paste, and there you go. You have the path that is copied, that is copy paste over and in the for that DPHX package folder, for this folder. Okay, you can do that for any of the folders. Let's go over these folders. The first one is the flight plan file folder. Okay, where you usually put your .pln files. By default, the tool will try to detect where your flight plan and where your weather presets are stored. If you have the Microsoft Store version, it shouldn't be a problem. It should detect them. If you have the Steam version, I'm not so sure it's going to detect them. I'm not so sure it's the same place. If you actually know where this path is, just go over and copy it or select it to make sure that it's the right place, especially for the weather preset. For the flight plans, there is a default place where Microsoft, or a default folder where Microsoft expects the file to be, but when you select a flight plan inside Microsoft Flight Simulator, you actually get to browse to any place on your computer. So if you have your own place where you put your PLN files, just put it there and it's okay. The second one is more tricky because the weather files need to be in one specific folder inside Microsoft Flight Simulator. You don't get a browse on the weather profiles in Microsoft Flight Sim, so you really need to specify the right. Again, if you have the Microsoft Store version, it should be detected automatically. Now, the third one is optional. If you use XCSOR, you'll know about your XCSOR data folder. You just select it here. If you don't use XCSOR, you don't know what it is, no problem, just skip it. This other one is any temporary folder for the tool to temporary unpack the information and then copy the files. It needs a temporary folder, so you can set any folders. You have the right access. Okay. And finally, the last one we've already kind of covered, but it's the folder where the tool will look for DPHX files. When you click the load button on the main screen, well, we'll see it's going to open that folder for you to select the DPHX file. So that's it about the folders. There's a few more preferences we need to set. The automatic overwrite is that when we unpack the files and we copy them on these in these folders, what to do if the files already exist there. Okay, do you want to always overwrite, to always skip, or always ask? So if the file already exists and you select always ask, then you're gonna get a prompt that asks you if you want to overwrite the file or skip it. All right, I'll always set to always overwrite. It's easier. And the last one is the auto unpack. If you enable this feature, when you open a DPHX file, the files will be automatically unpacked and copied to the right folders. Okay, so if you double click, if you set the association between DPHX file and the program, and you enable this, then double clicking a DPHX file will open it and copy the files automatically. That's pretty fast. Okay, that's the fastest way to achieve to get the files at the right place. We can also set a bit more preferences for units. So when you open the tool without a flight or with a flight, it doesn't matter. You have a tab here, units. If you click on that tab, on this tab, you're gonna get several more settings that you can set for units. So the units you want to use for the altitude, for the distance, gate, diameter, etc., etc. It's depending on your own preferences. Notice that the units that you select here are used only for your briefing tab. If there are description fields that include some matrix, some altitude, distance, or temperature, or anything, the tool cannot detect them. They will appear as they were entered in the description field. Okay, there's so much we can do. There's so much that the tool can do. So let's now load our first DPHX file. So you can either double click on a DPHX file, or you can click the load DPHX button, which will bring you to the folder that you've specified in your settings, and you click one and you select and you open it. So you have first the main task information. The main task is where you will find all of the task information. Everything is there. Countries it covers and everything is there. I won't go into details. It's the same basic information that you find also on Discord. If it's too small, okay, you notice that maybe it's too small for you. First, the application is totally resizable. You can select to resize the tool any size you want. You can maximize to the full screen. All right, so And you can also in the description regions like that, the field, you can use the control mouse wheel. If you hold control on your keyboard and you use the mouse wheel, then you can zoom in and out. You make the text larger or smaller. And then when you do that, of course, you're going to get a scroll bar so you can scroll through the whole content. The map tab now shows you the map. If it has been included as an image, you're going to get the map and you're going to get the description and a few more things. But again, the description here is pretty small. So same thing, you hold control and mouse wheel, you can make the text larger. Same thing for the map here, but without the control. Here you can just use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. You can also click and drag to move the map, so it's totally, you know, movable with the mouse and zoomable. You can also use this slider to zoom or this check to fit the image to the window size. What I didn't show here also is that the panes, there's panes on this window. There's one vertical here and there's one here horizontal, so you can resize, you know, the various panes the way you like. It's not saved between sessions, but it's you know, it can vary for each task. You also get all of the wind information on that screen with the compass rose, so the wind is coming from that direction. The arrow will be larger depending on the wind strength. And if you have multiple layers, you will be able to scroll. Here there's only one, but if there's multiple, you can scroll and you get the altitude for each. And the altitude is based on, of course, on your units, as is the wind speed. And finally, you have the restrictions, the altitude restrictions for the waypoints. When there are restrictions on the waypoint, they will appear here. Okay, everything is under one page here, because usually the description talks about the legs, and it's fun. It's nice to see the actual waypoints and to know about the restrictions and the wind direction too. Let's go to the images. I've skipped the event info. We'll get back to that in a minute. The images tab is pretty simple and straightforward. It presents you with all the images that are included in the package. The map is the first image, so it will always be there. Again, you can use the mouse wheel. You can use these controls here to make the map the size you want, and click and drag the map. And if there are more images, then they will be in the list here, and you can select them and do the same thing. All right. Waypoints tab. This contains all the waypoints of the task, of the flight plan actually, and with all the information, latitude, longitude, the gate diameter, everything is there, the elevation. You can also add more. You can remove the latitude and longitude. You can click here on the distance and have the distance shown in kilometers or in miles. So you have the distance between each of the waypoints, and also the total, cumulative total of the task distance here. Weather is pretty straightforward. You get a section here for the clouds, and you get a section here for the winds. Quick reminder, again, all the units that I've showed you now, and the various tab in here, they are based on your preferences under the units tab. Add-ons tab. Well, if you'll notice that I changed the task, the DPHX file here, because the previous one didn't have any add-ons. So I wanted to show you what's the add-ons tab look like. So I selected another one. And by the way, yeah, this is it is shown on the status here. The caption, the window title, actually, it is shown also on the status here. And here you have a few ways to see what is the DPHX file that you have currently loaded. Well, back to the add-ons tab. If they are included, if they are specified with the task, with the DPHX file, then you'll get links here, a description and a link. You double click here, it's going to open. Here would be flightsim.to. It would open up the web page in your browser with the add-on, so you can download it and install it. Now we go back to the event information tab, which we've skipped before. Here you're going to find all of the information regarding the group flight, the event for the group flight. You find where it is, on which club it is. You find the date. You find which MSFS server to use for the group event. You will find the preset to load, the weather, flight plan, everything, all the steps for the meetings. When you if there is a sync fly, when we're going to launch, when the task starts, the gate opens. Everything is there, okay? It helps you to know what is expected of the group flight. The local time that are displayed in this box are in your time zone. So it is shown here, the time zone. So you'll make sure that you have the right local. The tool detects your time zone and show you the local time in your own time zone. So you get also countdowns to the various steps of the group flight. Usually a group flight starts with we meet at a certain time. Then if there is a synchronized flight, click fly time, it would be shown here. This task does not require a sync fly, so there's no sync fly. When do we launch? When do we tow or winch? This is the time, the countdown. And when is the start gate open time, or when we start the task, actually, there's another countdown. That's usually the four kind of gating that you have inside a group flight. So you get these countdowns if it's a future event. If it's a past event, these will be just blank. All right. As we get closer to each of these events, each of these steps inside the group flight, you're gonna get audio cues. You can get audio cues. I think it's 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and a 10-second countdown. You can adjust the volume of these audio cues here by moving the slider and clicking this little button is gonna test the countdown. All right. If you don't want any, you just put the volume to 0. You won't get any countdowns. And here, you have the information regarding the event that says this is a past or a future event. If it is a past event, it will be empty here. If it is a future event and it's further away than 1 hour, I think, to the flight, then the time that is displayed here is the time that you should set inside Microsoft Flight Simulator. The local time inside Microsoft Flight Simulator should be September 10, 2 p.m. Okay, this is based on the task definition when you should fly this task. But as you get closer, I think it's from 1 hour to the flight, then this is gonna be dynamic. Okay, this will be dynamic. It will tell you this should be the time. If you click fly now, this is the time that it should be, and it's all based on the relation that everybody should be on the same time at a certain point during the flight. Okay, so this is also helping you to set the local time inside Microsoft Flight Sim. Okay, we're done. Now we want to unpack the file. If you enable the auto unpack, by the way, it's not needed. This button is not needed because it will, when you open a file or you double click a DPHX file, it will auto unpack. So you won't need to ever click the unpack button. But if you didn't enable that, well, you need to click the unpack, and after any unpack result, whether it be automatic or by clicking unpack, you get the unpacking results right here. Okay, so what it did with all of the files that are inside the package. Quick tip here: the results will depend on the override settings. If there was files that were existing, you're gonna get prompts that ask you if you want to overwrite or skip the file. It depends on your override settings, but you always get these unpacking results to make sure that the files have been copied as you expected. The cleanup button now, it does the reverse. If you want to keep things clean and tidied inside your folders and don't want to have an accumulation of flight plan and weather profiles to choose from, you can click the cleanup button, and you're gonna you're gonna also get a little pop-up there with the cleanup results that will tell you which file have been deleted from your folder. So you can only keep the DPHX file. You don't need to keep individual PLN or WPR TSK file. You don't need to keep any of these files individually. You can clean up and only have the DPHX file inside some kind of library or archive, and you always use the DPHX to prepare your flight. Finally, the B21 Planner is pretty self-explanatory. It's gonna open the B21 Task Planner in your browser with this task and with the weather inside already loaded, so you can have a look by yourself on the Task Planner. Finally, a little advisory here. If Microsoft Flight Simulator is running while you run the tool, you're gonna get this little advisory. This is because you can't copy a weather file, a new weather file, while Microsoft is running. It won't see the new files. Flight plan, yes, but not the weather profile. So you need Microsoft Flight Simulator needs to be shut down before you copy any new weather file. You're gonna, if you choose to still go and unpack while it is running, you're also get this pop-up that says, exactly what I just said. Files can be copied, but weather preset will not be available in Flight Sim until it is restarted. Do you still want to proceed? Okay, so this is another advisory that you get. You need to Microsoft needs to be not running for any new weather files to be seen. That's it. You have everything now. So go download some DPHX packages and, fly safe. And especially thank you for spreading the word too about this tool and about the Discord post helper tool, so we get more task designer to use to create DPHX files and more user to use them, and make it easier to get the files at the right places. Thank you.